UFC 249 next week. As we all know, it was once dubbed, well, I'm sorry, it was 249. Then it went to 250. Now it's back to calling it 249. And supposedly it's the greatest fight card in the history of fight cards. But even better, breaking news, even though this was announced, I guess it's official now. March 13th, there's going to be a fight night in Jacksonville, Florida. Mm-hmm. And then 3 days later, surprise, surprise, they're going to have another fight night.
Right.
So they're really trying, as we've had people calling on the show, and we've said it about saturating everything. And the minute they have a little bit of leeway now, what happens? Mm-hmm. Let's saturate it right off the bat. We're talking about not even a week, and you're going to have 3 fights, 3 events. Not even a week goes by.
Right.
And normally I would be saying, okay, let's go through the fight card and let's check this out and everything. And we'll look at some of the things eventually. Why am I not saying it right now? Because who the hell really thinks this is going to happen? We got a week before. This is basically going to be thumbs up or thumbs down. So whoever at Disney is going to say we're going to do this or not, they still have a week to go. And as we all know, if they are planning on going someplace, usually you have a week ahead of time to go sit there, do whatever you have to do, your press conferences, even if you have to Zoom the press conferences, whatever. Nobody's made any movement. The fight is supposed to be a week from today. The 249 and nothing.
Anthony, here's the problem with the UFC.
I know.
This is the problem with the UFC. They're trying to find a way to make a buck. This is what Dana White has been trying to do for the last couple of months. He wants to be the first organization to get a sports event going while this is going on. And I understand he's losing money and the UFC is losing money and they're trying to build their product, especially what's going on with COVID-19. And they know that if they get this product on TV or pay-per-view, they're going to sell because everybody wants to watch sports. That's what they want to do. They want to be connected to what's going on in sports. And you saw with the NFL, with the virtual NFL, it was one of the highest watched sports shows or sports events in NFL history.
55 million, I think it was.
In NFL history. Because everybody can't wait until sports come back. You heard it on. If you guys don't listen to some of the stuff that people are interviewing athletes, they're interviewing even musicians. Eminem was on a show, Shade 45 the other day, and he says, I can't stay. I'm going crazy. I'm going stir crazy because I'm sitting home and I can't watch sports on TV. He says, I have never been in this situation in my life where I'm sitting in front of my 75-inch screen TV and I can't be connected for the one thing that I love to do, and that's watch sports.
Well, Chris Brown, one of our listeners, is telling us that NASCAR is trying to pull the same bull, Herd trying to say the same cram. It's saying next week they're going to be doing the same thing with NASCAR now. Everybody's trying to get something out there. Everybody wants to be the first. How about not being the first? How about being the best? Everybody wants to be the first. So
how is the UFC going to be the best when the UFC has always trying to find a way to sneak attack with the industry right now? And I'll tell you this right now, it's going to be canceled. It is going to be canceled.
That's why they give you 3 dates, because they're trying to go with the idea of, let's see how many. We're going to put 3 shots out there. Which one of the 3 are going to go?
It's already come out. Donald Trump already said that the schools are completely closed for the rest of the year, for the rest of all the way till September.
The school year.
Yeah, the school year. So they're closing all the schools. There's no way school is coming back. And whatever you need to finish, if you're a senior in high school, you're probably not going to have a prom. I don't know. I feel bad for the seniors. Some of these kids that can't wait until their prom. They're not going to have a prom. And really, they're going to go from 12th grade and try to get through school and summer school. What are they going to do with summer school? There's no summer school. Are they going to do summer school online? I understand the UFC is trying to build their product. They're trying to drive this product, a product that right now is washed up and it's not good. It's not a good product. So they're trying to put it on the map. And right now, Dana White is trying to push this forward with Disney. I beg to differ. I think Dana White needs to step back for a little while and let this thing cool down. That's what I think he needs to do. But he's not. It's all about money for Dana White. It's all about the industry right now and the UFC and trying to be the first sport to have events. And to me, that's not going to sell to the fan. It's not going to sell that's not going to sell their product when a product is washed up. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we have a first caller of the day. What's going on, Jeff?
Man, you guys are a killjoy today. Just a killjoy. Let us all think that we're going to have UFC fighting.
What was your question?
What?
What was your question?
A killjoy about what?
No, I'm saying you guys are taking all the joy out of life. Let us at least,
Taking all the joy out of life?
Let us at least believe we could have UFC fighting.
Okay, Jeff. Right? Okay, no, let's go down that road, and I'll give you that. Yeah, these things sound like a wonderful, great little bit of hope that we're getting.
There's no hope.
But here's the thing.
I'm so sick and
tired
of
in all fairness,
the UFC.
No, but in
Dana
all fairness,
White.
let's just look at how many times now has Dana White, as I've said before, given empty promises.
Every day. Every day.
I said, it was
he's got a video on Google every single day.
No, but there was
the guy just loves himself.
A month ago it was 249. Then 249 got postponed. It was supposed to be 250. Then 250 gets pushed back. No, we're not canceling. We're pushing it back to postponing it. Now it's 249 again, and it's May. It's next week. It's May 7th.
It's not happening.
But in a lot of states, and I'm sure it's the same thing down now. He's doing this down in Jacksonville. He's doing this down in Florida. How far are you from Jacksonville, Jeff?
Just so you know, everything opens up here on Monday.
Everything, or are they doing it gradually, like these phases that we hear about?
No, well, I mean, I guess you can kind of say phases, but everything opens on Monday except for, I guess the real major changes, like bars and restaurants, can only be like 50% capacity or something.
Well, I will say this, and I understand people want their businesses open. I know you don't live up here, but on Channel 12 News, you see all the people, all these owners over here in Comac, they want their businesses open. So they're having these rallies. They're not wearing masks. They're not keeping social distancing. They don't give a crap because they think this is a joke. That's what they think. Even though there's 18,000 people that have died here in New York State in the past 2.5 months. This isn't a joke. I used to think this was a joke. And I work at a hospital, and there's 397 people right now with COVID-19 sitting in a bed, and half of them are probably going to die. This is not a joke. And the UFC has been pushing this and pushing this and pushing this. Here's what you should have been pushing from day one. If you wanted to have UFC 249, you shouldn't have let Khabib go home. You shouldn't have. Because this product that you're trying to put out on UFC 249 on May 9th is garbage. It's garbage. So what are you promoting here? Garbage? But you've been promoting garbage for the last couple of years. So this is what annoys me about Dana White. I understand you want to be the first, and you want to be the second, you want to be the third, and you think Disney's going to approve this because you're going to bring in money and you're going to bring in revenue for them. Disney is a multi-billion-dollar organization. They're a multi-billion-dollar organization. Is Disneyland open right now? Is Disney World open right now? It isn't. They're losing money. So if they're not open, why do you think they're going to allow the UFC to open up? Because Dana White is speaking?
Can I just mention this, though, Errol, right? Because I agree with you, right? Like, in everything that you just said, completely, wholeheartedly agree. But if you're paying attention, Disney is definitely the one that's pushing the envelope because they are losing money. Because if anyone's been paying attention, the NBA has now all of a sudden switched from Vegas to all being in Orlando at Disney World.
And that's fine.
So
that's fine.
But no. But I'm saying Disney seems to be on the forefront of all of these things, trying to push them all forward. Obviously, because they're losing money and they want to make some more money. And that's why I think that this one actually probably does have a chance, at least a chance of happening.
What's funny about it is with the deal that Disney has with the UFC has to get the money in terms of distribution and everything from the Disney company. The UFC has to put together a product. They have to bring something out. It's no different than sometimes with the pay-per-view distributors. You have to put up a pay-per-view to get the money from the last pay-per-view type situation. Pretty similar with the UFC, with the way and the deal that they have now. So if there's no show, they don't get any checks from Disney. So they could stop just by saying, forget it, you're not having this, and as he said, what was it? The higher ups.
Yeah, the higher
asked
ups.
me.
Yes.
Asked me. No, they told you it wasn't happening. So ultimately, by them shutting it down, they went and said, "It's not. That's it. We're not paying you." So they're actually saving money by the UFC not happening because then they don't have to, for whatever reason,
they don't have to go into their pockets
or whatever. Now, I don't know if there's any guarantees or whatever. Of course, they don't show those little details or any loopholes and stuff to the public. But now, do I think one of these fights happen? Possibly.
One of these cards, you mean? One of these cards, because people
cards.
think
I'm sorry
fights.
when I say fight. Exactly.
Yeah.
But you want to know something? In some cases, if they did these fights or these events, excuse me, similar to a boxing event where it's a smaller undercard,
right?
You know, it doesn't have to not everything while this is going on. Sometimes less is more. You don't have to worry about 15 fights when it's something like this going on. Because sometimes when you give back a little bit, and like our caller Chris is saying, Vince McMahon's having the same problem because he went free. He went with the free idea, no show, no people coming in and everything, and no attendance or whatever.
Yeah, how did that go? How did WrestleMania go?
He went to the well one too many times, I think, is what happened. He didn't spread it out. Now with the UFC, if they haven't even they tried it once with the fight in Brazil. That free fight in Brazil, but right before they shut everything down, and it actually was not that bad of a fight card. It really wasn't. Now, he's trying to go again with a pay-per-view in this case. Well, even if you wanted to make it a pay-per-view, people are so starved for sports. You could actually get a smaller card, no undercard, just make it the main card, the 5 fights. And I guarantee you, if you lower the cost, something's better than nothing. Something is better than nothing.
Are you looking at the card right now? Look at the card.
That's what I'm saying. But you see, Jeremy
Stevens, who hasn't fought.
Here's the thing.
Hasn't fought in years. Jeremy Stevens, the same Jeremy Stevens that was in the UFC for years. I think he's been in the UFC for 9 years. He's all of a sudden on a card. Nobody gives a crap about Jeremy Stevens.
Errol, that's what I'm saying. Like this fight card right here. If you just took these 5 main fights, the Ferguson Justin, I can't say it without laughing. The Ferguson Justin Gaethje fight, and then the which is Henry Cejudo Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz hasn't fought in
3 years.
He has the last time he fought, Ronda fought
3 years ago.
Thank you. And we're not talking about WWE, everybody. We're talking about actually fighting.
This is what they're selling, ladies and gentlemen. This is what they're selling. This is what the UFC is trying to sell to the public. Good luck.
And
good luck.
And the only credible fight that I say, and I've been saying it because they keep promoting it, and this is, other than the Ferguson fight, this fight is the only other one that has not changed. It's the Francis Ngannou versus Rosenstrenk. Number 2 versus number 6 in their ranking system, and then somebody gets a fight at Stipe. That's a credible fight, in my opinion.
So why isn't that the main event or the second to the main event?
No, of course not, because you have to put the names out there.
Oh, yes, the names. Dominic Cruz, yes, 3 years ago.
Dominic Cruz.
3 years ago. That's why he's an analyst. That's why he's an analyst. And all of a sudden, he's getting off his fat ass to get into the octagon and lose, because that's what it's going to happen. I hope Cruz wins, because to me, Henry Cejudo is not, to me, a welcoming champion. To me, he never beat Johnson, and Johnson is still the champion. That's my opinion. And Henry Cejudo has not beaten anybody in my eyes. So again, I understand what you're saying, Jeff. You're absolutely right. Disney wants to make money. Disney is also trying to get out of this situation. But I also think Disney is looking at the big picture here, and they see what's going on in the world. They do. They see what's going on in the world. And there are many, many people dying from this disease, this virus. I call it a disease because diseases kill a lot of people. Viruses usually don't. And there's over 300 some odd thousand people that have died from this virus. And it's adding every single day. What was it? In the month of April, 289 people died here in New York. 289 people. But you know what? The UFC wants to put on a card. They want to sell this to the public eye because they want to be the first sports organization to get their product out there. You know why? Because Dana White don't give a crap about you, me, or anybody else. All he cares about is the money in his pocket.
In fairness, not holding these events in places where the outbreak is massive. Are there cases everywhere? Sure. But Jacksonville isn't exactly the hotbed for this virus that New York City or Rhode Island or Massachusetts or some of these of Philadelphia, some of these other places are. The virus is hitting harder there, much harder there than it is here.